It was like Chinese water torture. The water just was creeping, and it was creeping, and it was creeping. It started just before Christmas, and New Year came, and we had more rain. It just didn't stop raining, really.
We've had our home destroyed and, you know, the heart ripped out of our home.
All the time, effort, blood, sweat and tears that we put into that house has kind of been taken away from us.
Home is a place where we go to relax, retreat, to be safe. But what happens when that security is taken away from you? In February 2014, we saw the worst rainfall in the UK for the last 56 years.
This is where we came through on the tractors.
7,000 homes were flooded. Gavin and Bryony live in Moorland in the Somerset Levels, one of the worst affected areas in the country. This is their story.
When we moved into the house, we didn't have a plan for how we wanted it. We just worked on each room by room, and the house just worked.
It took us a while to find. By the time we all walked through the front door, we were all winking and nudging each other, going, actually, this is the house for us.
There was just this feeling, this is going to be our home, and we just knew it was just meant to be.
It wasn't cheap at the time, but you can't put a price on your dream home.
We didn't have a lot of money. We pretty much blew the budget on the house in the first place. It was fairly run down, to be honest. It needed new electrics, it needed new plumbing. It needed a bit of work, shall we say. I've learnt lots of new skills doing up the house. It's been brilliant. I've loved every minute.
We just saw it as a home. We just knew that we could do something to it, and we've spent 12 years doing something to it. It's where we raise the kids. It is absolutely your everything.
Obviously, being on the levels, there is a risk of flooding, and we are in a flood risk area. Moving from a house that had flooded, when we've been looking around, we had looked for a property that was higher, and Moorland itself as a village has never flooded. Our house was built in 1892 and has never flooded. The rains had started, and every day it was getting nearer and nearer, and this went on for days, like months, until eventually February the 4th and February the 5th, it breached the village. We had a list of all the houses, and it was literally crossing them off as each one gets flooded. And we had 34 houses before ours. And when you crossed off the last one, the church got flooded, you're like, we're next. When the water did come in the house, it was kind of a bit of a relief, really. You're like, OK, that's it, we can stop worrying about that now. We had a call early in the morning, and she said, you've got 3 hours, you need to get out of the house. And by 11 o'clock, we had a helicopter flying over the top of us telling us to evacuate. It was the most surreal time you could ever imagine.
I threw the kids and my mum and the dogs. At that time, I put the guinea pig in a hutch in the back of the car. You know, kids didn't have seat belts on. I just made them drive out so that they were safe, so that I could stay behind. We had the police and the Environment Agency sandbagging our doors shut, lifting our furniture.
After we've had it taken away from us and completely gutted, we want to put everything back exactly how it was. You think, well, it won't take that long for the water to go back out and then the house will dry. We'll be back in by spring. Well, maybe not spring, maybe we'll be back for summer.
It'll be the middle of November, before we go home.
With the date to move set, the family reflect on what home means.
We're really lucky. Our children are very resilient, but it's been tough on them. Not having their things and not being at home and not having their own bedrooms. I miss my home. I miss seeing the kids playing in the garden.
Drinking cups of tea, people coming through to see and say hi, and, you know, just everyday life.
But until moving day,
we're still trying to maintain the garden back at the old rectory. The kids love gardening. Toby's got his own little veg plot. We try and take them back as often as possible so they can enjoy being at home. Okay. Looking back, we will come out of this stronger. At the moment, I don't think we feel like it's made us stronger. But we are a tight-knit group, and there's a lot of love in our family. There's nothing better being able to stand there and look at our outlook and see the sun go down and think, yeah, this is home. And this is why we live on the Somerset Levels, because it's beautiful and we love where we live.